What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Nasty Nate channel. Right now, I'm going to show you how to do lower control arms. We got some cool powder-coated parts. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. But, I wanted to grab this tool, show you guys. We got a torsion bar, like remover tool, unloading tool. So, I went under the truck already, and I painted the torsion bar bolts. Let me show you. All you want to do is take a little spray paint and spray it on there before you do anything, and that will basically show you exactly where these bolts need to go when you put it all back together. So right now we can get the tool on here, and I think, yeah, there's a little dimple in the torsion bar key that the tool goes into, and it hooks over the cross members somehow, and then we'll be able to take the bolts out and this little piece, and then there will be no tension on the torsion bars, and we'll be able to take the lower control arms off. So let's see if we can do this. All right, I literally just screwed this thing in like maybe 2 turns, and since there's nothing on the front end, this is already loose. So we'll get our 19 on this and take the bolt out, and then we can slide this little thing out. All right, we got the torsion bar out, or torsion bolt out, and this little thing that holds the key. So now he's gonna loosen the tool.
That's tightening.
Yeah, other way. And this will unload the torsion bar, and once it's loose, we can start hammering on this thing so we can take the front control arm off. The key is starting to move, and we should be unloaded here in a second. Yeah, guys, we got the first torsion bar out. Let's check this out. It's loose in this control arm. So we've been beating on this thing with a hammer, and I got a trick with a zip tie and a pry bar. I'm going to show you the perfect way to do this on the other side of your truck. Stay tuned. This is awesome. Huge shout out to Ryan, Ryan on Instagram. I'll link him somewhere. He's got these big, expensive pry bars, but I got a fuel heater or grid heater or whatever that's called right there in the way. If you don't have a Duramax, it's probably not there, but you're gonna get your pry bar through this little hole into this where the torsion bar is, just like that, sitting right on the torsion bar next to the fuel heater. And what I'm gonna do is run this big zip tie around the cross member to hold the pry bar there, and then I'm just gonna hit this pretty much as hard as you can, probably like 100 times, but it will come out. We got the zip tie as tight as I can, and the pry bar right here, so it kind of holds there, but I'm just gonna be able to sit here and whack this as hard as I can. It will push the torsion bar out of the control arm up there. So let's get to it. Hopefully they go in a little easier.
And then I remembered that we have to swap them to the other control arms.
Oh, yeah. All right, hopefully I don't miss. Real quick. See if we can... There she is. Oh yeah, that's a good feeling. All right, guys, to get the bolts out, they're actually really easy. I think it's, what, a 24 on one side, 21 on one side?
24 and 18.
24 on this side, on the nut side, 18 on the bolt side. And then to get this bolt out, you have to take the CV shaft out, which is super easy. Just 6 15mm bolts with an extension. They come out super easy. And now we can pull this control arm out and then take the torsion bar out, and this should just slide into the new one. So we'll check on that, but lower control arm, not as bad as I expected. All right, guys, I messed up the first time around, but I want to tell you this so you don't do this. You got to put the torsion keys or torsion bars through your control arm right here first, and it just slides right through, and it has to be sticking out about that far, a couple inches. And then you can put the key back in with the tool, and this is just moving like freely, and then we'll just slide this into place and put the bolt back in at our spray paint mark, and then we'll be good to bolt the shocks on, and these should stay in place. And we'll just stop right at the spray paint mark, about there, and then we'll straighten our bolt out so it matches these lines, and that is exactly where it needs to be. All right, guys, the lower control arm is on. This color is looking nasty under this truck. I honestly like it more that it's on the truck now. Before, I didn't really know. I thought it was a little too dark, but I think this is going to look really cool under here. So we got the shock bolted on. What you have to do is jack this up to where you're putting tension on your torsion bar, and then your key will sit in place with the bolt pushing up, and then you put your you put your shock bolt in, and then you can just let this sit like this. Basically, the shock is fully extended. Yes, I know I need new shocks. These are absolutely busted. That will be in the very near future with some good upgrades for that, so watch out for that video. But these lower control arms were actually not that bad. One thing I do want to tell you is these nuts and bolts are loose right now. So what I'm going to do is wait until I get the truck sitting on the ground to tighten the bolts, because if you tighten them now, you're going to put the bushing at a weird, like in a weird spot, and then once it goes and sits on the ground, your control arm is going to come up a little bit, and you'll slowly ruin those bushings. So you want to tighten those after you have the weight of the truck on the ground. And then that should sum up the lower control arms. Guys, it's really not that bad. Huge shout out to Ryan. He was a big help with us, and glad we could get this done in the driveway. Yeah, we're not in a shop. Probably doesn't look very organized, but I wanted to show you guys that you can do this in your driveway. So get it done. Subscribe to Nasty Nate. We'll catch you in the next one.
I've been around the block a couple